Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Gies Online Masters in Business Administration webinar. I'm going to allow just a minute here for everyone to get connected and get settled. My name is Lori Hayes, though. I'm a coordinator in admissions and recruitment here at Gies Online. I'm joined by my colleague, Megan King. She will be assisting in the Q&A feature, answering all of your questions today. I also have a student ambassador on this call that I will introduce here in just a few minutes while everyone's getting connected. But you all can scan the QR code that you see on this screen. This is an excellent way to get connected with us, with our team, with our website. And the purpose of today's webinar is to explore the iMBA program and how it equips professionals with real-world business skills and leadership expertise. But before we get started in the webinar, onto the webinar, we do love to hear where everyone is joining us from. So on this next slide, we have a map, we have a poll. Feel free to participate if you'd like to. If not, you can also pop in the chat where you're from. But we do love to see where everyone is joining us from. I am based out here in the Pacific Northwest in Bend, Oregon, but I lived in Champaign for many, many years. Megan is also based there in the Midwest. And Carlos, where are you joining us from?
The Chicago suburbs.
Wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, feel free to pop in the chat if you feel like it and let us know where you're joining us from or participate in the poll. But I am going to move on to the next slide here in just a second. And sometimes our polls act funky and sometimes they work. So it may just be an off day. All right, moving on to the agenda, let's go over what we're going to be covering during our time together. But before we get on to the list of things that we're going to cover, I do want to go ahead and introduce our special guest and student ambassador. Carlos Menendez is a current iMBA student. Carlos, do you want to take just a minute to tell us a little bit about your background, maybe where you're at in the program, and a little bit about you?
Sure. My name is Carlos, and like I said, I'm in the Chicago suburbs. I am in the second year of the iMBA program. My two areas of focus are data business analytics and mergers and acquisitions, because you do get to focus your MBA in certain areas. And I'm on the second year of the program.
Great, thanks, Carlos. So today I am going to touch a bit on the University of Illinois and Gies College of Business. We're then going to have a deeper and more in-depth look at the iMBA program and Gies Online. And then we will dive into the curriculum and content that's covered in the iMBA program. We will chat a little bit about some application tips and tricks, and we'll definitely be having Carlos share about his student experience here at Gies Online. If you have questions throughout the presentation, it's a little bit easier for us if you put those in the Q&A feature. It's easier for us to keep them organized there. So please try to remember to pop the questions in the Q&A feature, and we will get those answered before the end of our time today. Okay, so on this slide, we have several accolades listed. The University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign has a very strong reputation, not only in academia, but also in industry. We have approximately 35,000 undergraduate students and 20,000 graduate students. We are a land grant institution, which means that we are committed to providing life-changing access to education at an affordable cost to learners all over the world. We are ranked as the #9 public university by U.S. News and World Report. We're a top 5 National Science Foundation funded research institution, which highlights our strong emphasis on cutting edge research. We have over 500,000 plus living alumni. We are one of the largest alumni organizations out there. And we have over 24 million library items, which you would have access to as an online learner. And we are rated the #1 most disability friendly campus in the US. Moving on to Gies College of Business, we were named the #1 biggest business school of innovation of the decade by Poets and Quants, the #1 accountancy faculty by BYU Accounting Faculty Research Rankings. In 2022, we were the MBA Program of the Year by Poets and Quants. We are a top 10 public undergraduate business school in the nation by US News and World Report. And there are over 81,000 Gies business alumni that you can connect and network with at events and online. So let's talk about the three main qualities that make up Gies online programs. The first quality is flexibility. We are 100% fully online. This means you can access the group projects, live sessions from the comfort of your own home, office, or wherever you might be. We are also flexible in degree planning, choosing the number of courses you'd like to take and the order in which you'd like to take them. You also get to choose a few of those focus area specializations that Carlos was just talking about. This is a way for you to gear your degree towards your own goals and interests. And also our tuition is on a pay-as-you-go model, so you only pay for courses as you are enrolled in them. Second is stackability. We offer many courses and bite-sized options to stack into your next credential to provide all learners an entry point that works for them wherever they are at in their learner journey. We are going to go over the stackability option in more depth on the next slide. And then online by design. What do we mean by online by design? Well, we've been delivering online courses through the iMBA program since 2016. And we are one of the first online MBA programs offered at an affordable price. We offer innovative delivery of content without sacrificing interactions and collaboration with instructors and fellow classmates. Carlos, did any of these qualities stand out to you as to why you chose Gies Online?
Absolutely, all of them. The flexibility of building a curriculum based on my interests and time commitments. Being online, I looked at every single iMBA program out there, and online by design was incredibly attractive because it's not a program where the online feature is just an afterthought. It is actually built around being an online program, so that you can take advantage of everything that they have to offer. And the stackability, I thought that was very innovative. You know, the ability to work your way up to the program or to build from the program onto a dual program, a dual degree program. I thought that was incredibly innovative, and I couldn't find it anywhere else in the country, especially for such a high caliber school.
Great, thank you, Carlos. All right, and that leads in nicely to our next slide. I do want to take just a few moments here to elaborate on our stackability option and how it breaks down. So this slide represents all the building blocks and credentials that we offer at Gies Online. They're the free Coursera MOOCs, and MOOC stands for Massive Open Online Course. These are on the Coursera platform, but then we offer the non-degree single 4-credit courses. We offer graduate certificates, and we offer 3 full master's degree programs. All of these complement an existing credential. All of these options allow for development of new and targeted knowledge. They allow you to work at your own pace. And lastly, stackability is outcome driven, which means you will see career impact with each stackable step. So as you can see, we have something for everyone here at Gies Online, whether you're wanting to take a single course, earn a graduate certificate, or get a master's degree. We have options that build on one another and work together. We do have another poll on this next slide, and feel free to participate in the poll or pop your answer in the chat. But what has been holding you back from graduate education? Is it the cost? Is it maybe the online format, the time commitment, ROI? You want to make sure that this degree is going to be worth your time and energy, and that you're going to see an impact in your career. And online format, sometimes, you know, not all of us have have been in school and done online education. So this is a fairly new concept. Maybe that might be holding you back. Time commitment, you're balancing other responsibilities, your career, how is graduate education going to fit in? And maybe you're a little concerned about the difficulty and the rigor of the program. So we'll touch on this. Carlos will be able to share a bit too. And I'm hoping that by the end of our time that we're able to relieve some of these concerns that you might have. First, let's talk about those graduate certificate options, though, that I mentioned on the stackability slide. I want to discuss this before we move into the iMBA program. This is a great stackable option if you are not quite ready for the full iMBA. All of our graduate certificates consist of 12 hours or 3 courses of transcripted credit. The application process for our graduate certificates is very brief, and they're all stackable into any of our degree programs, including the iMBA. By that, I mean with the IMSM program and the accountancy program, you are allowed to stack 1 graduate certificate into those programs, so those would fully transfer and be applied to the curriculum. Within the iMBA, you can stack 2 graduate certificates if you want to start with that path. This slide, we have all of our graduate certificate options listed. We have a total of 13. As you can see, we have more general business graduate certificates listed, and then we have 4 that are more accounting specific. This is just a great option if you kind of want to get your feet wet before jumping straight into a master's degree option. Or if you're just wanting to do a grad cert and be done, that is perfectly fine, okay, as well. Okay, but let's move on to the iMBA, why we're all here today. The iMBA is a much deeper dive into the skills that you're going to need to maybe run an entire business. You're going to hone in on those accounting, management, and financial skills. You're also going to focus on learning business theory and discovering current trends, projects, and problems that you see within companies. And then you will figure out what the practical application is for those and how you can best approach those problems. A few quick facts for you. The total cost for this program is just over $26K and is more affordable than most comparable programs without sacrificing quality. You can complete the program in as little as 2 years or stretch it out to 3. And you actually have 5 years to complete the program if needed. So if you do need to take a larger chunk of time off, that is okay. We have 5 start dates, or start months rather, with our next intake in August. And the iMBA program consists of a total of 72 credit hours. A few numbers for you. The average age is around 37 with 11 years of work experience. You will have folks on the lower end of that, and then folks that are, well into their 60s and 20 plus years in their professional history. So it's definitely a broad range of folks and backgrounds. With that being said, though, we do have a minimum of 3 years work experience. That is one of the requirements to be admitted. We're pretty strict about this requirement. If you do find yourself 3 years or younger with professional work experience, the IMSM, the business management program, might be a better fit for you. And it is fully stackable into the iMBA, which means you would complete the IMSM and then apply to the iMBA, and all 36 MSM credits would fully stack, and then you would only have 36 more credits to complete your iMBA. 79% of our student population are domestic, and the other 21% join us from all over the world. 50 US states and over 100 countries are represented in the iMBA program, and 88 Fortune 100 companies. So there will be many diverse backgrounds with rich professional experience that will be represented in your group work and in your live sessions. And then career impact. Let's talk a little bit about the return of investment here. These first two statistics are how we show direct impact on your career, and that 65% of our students receive a promotion or accepted a new position during the iMBA, and 25% received a pay increase in their salary, and 25 and 95% applied what they learned from the iMBA to their work in real time. iMBA curriculum, you will complete 72 credit hours or 18 courses. The 18 courses is made up of 6 specializations. Four are core specializations, which mean they are required by every student. And then we have a total of 5 focus area specializations, and you will choose 2 that work for you. And if you want to just do one focus area specialization, you could also do an elective path, which is your choice of 3 electives that makes up 12 credit hours. In addition to the 6 specializations that you will complete, you will also complete 3 capstone projects. Capstones are designated to bridge the knowing and the doing gap, challenging students to apply their iMBA courses, work experience, and business knowledge and skills. Students will work through a case study with a team on the group-based project and will deliver a final case presentation. Carlos, can you just tell us a little bit about where you have seen an impact from the courses in your career so far? And then maybe we'll touch a little bit on the capstone project experience.
Sure. I've done both of them. By the way, I'm on the upper scale of that age group. So I do have a few years under my belt.
Mhm.
And the last 10 years, I have been running a corporation, a manufacturing corporation, which I sold and
Okay.
then decided to come back to school. Um, so looking at the core specializations and the focus areas, I can tell you that you get to implement and get to see it on a daily basis. For example, you see their value chain management. That is right in the news right now. You know,
Mhm.
how to do your supply chains, how to manage those. And you do that on a regular basis. I did it when I was running a manufacturing company. Um, then I happened to just finish one of the capstones. I did a capstone, which is basically a pretty intensive case study and research project. And I did it on managerial economics and business analysis. And really quickly, what we did, we picked a company and a product, and the professor asked us to look at where that company could expand to what country could they expand to, and then we had to do the research. And it was an incredible project because you look at all sorts of variables, and you learn about the company. You get in-depth knowledge of a company, and then you make a presentation to the board. Not in reality, but that's the deliverable. You provide a project, you provide an analysis, and then you present to the board. And that is real life experience on how to do a project of this kind. So that was very meaningful, because having run my own company, I can tell you that is exactly what happens in real life.
Mm. Great example. Thank you. And then I did want to add that as an iMBA degree seeking learner, you will have the option, which I think this is unique to our program. You have the option to obtain up to 2 embedded graduate certificates while in pursuit of your iMBA degree. So this edition, it's optional, but it can be selected from any of the 5 focus area specializations that we offer. This is just a way to show that you have earned a micro credential while also obtaining your iMBA degree. A little note about the I we get asked quite often is, what does the I stand for? Is this going to be on my transcripts, my diploma? The I refers to our method of delivery only. It is to signify all of the master's degrees delivered online at Gies, but there will be no mention of the I on your transcripts or diploma. It will look as if you completed a residential MBA program. Moving on to faculty, you might be wondering how we are delivering this highly innovative content to our learners, and a lot of that has to do with our amazing faculty. Gies College of Business is home to more than 215 full-time faculty across accountancy, business administration, including marketing, management, supply chain, entrepreneurship, just to name a few. More than half of Gies faculty are actively engaged in research that is changing how business is taught and how business is done. We have over 70 faculty members who teach in online programs with industry and research expertise, 250 TAs that help within the courses, and a group of 55 Gies staff members in our teaching and learning department. All of these groups come together to create the content that we deliver. The Gies Online faculty completes about 40 live sessions each week with 20,000 videos created to date. We have 6 current studios in the business instructional facility, with 7 more to come in the near future as we complete a brand new building called Steve Weimer Hall on the business campus. On this next slide, I'm going to give you just a taste of what a live session is like. This is Professor Hayden Knoll. He is a favorite among our students, so you can be prepared to be entertained.
Hello and welcome from wherever in the world you are. One thing you'll know by now is realize you are not going to be able to just sit back. Got excited.
Absolutely.
Happy. I do not believe in exams. It will be a collaborative event, something you do over time with others. And that's what we do in this class. I want you to put up your hands and tell me 2 associations from the case.
Tradition comes to mind.
Associated with a working man.
Also inexpensive and very accessible.
And my classes by saying, all of you, go out in the world and be successful.
Carlos, can you tell us a little bit about what the live sessions are like?
It varies from class to class and the topic, but sometimes they are they are very lively. A lot of discussions. The professors love to see your face during the live session, so they love to see the cameras on, and they love the interaction because they are teaching at any given time a class of hundreds. They depending on the class, there's more participation in others, in some than in others. But professors love to interact because they really want to bring you in from wherever you are and keep you engaged. I really enjoy and I really make a point of watching every live session as opposed to watching the recording, because we know that life gets in the way and you're working and you have busy schedules, so you can watch the live session recording after the fact, but I try to make a point to visit, to be on the live sessions, because you get to interact with the professor, with the TA, with the other students, because during the live session you will always be there will be breakout sessions where you get to meet other students. So this is part of the networking part of the program. Because you want to make a network so that you can then use it for in the future. So during those breakout sessions, you get to meet students and you talk and you discuss a question. And this is part of that online by design. You're not just watching a recording, you're participating in the session.
Great. Yeah, this leads in nicely to our next slide, where I'm going to talk a little bit about those two components that make up the Gies learner journey. And the first one is our asynchronous component. That is the Coursera MOOC. These are non-credit bearing courses that you complete asynchronously on your own time that cover the foundational material. It basically serves as your digital textbook. These offer specific career-aligned training. You will earn a digital certificate that you can share on social platforms. You enroll through the Coursera platform, and the content is made up of videos, self-assessed quizzes, assignments, and peer evaluations. So this is much more self-paced and self-driven. The second component to courses is the high engagement component. The high engagement material builds upon the MOOC foundational material. It will give you the real world scenarios and projects to pull through the concepts that you've learned in the MOOCs. You have the 90-minute live class that Carlos was just talking about. It's on Zoom each week, where your instructor will give their lecture. You will have those small group breakout sessions in the live classes. They are offered several different times during the day to accommodate all of our global time zones, and you pick the best time that works for you. If your schedule changes week to week due to traveling for work or family commitment, whatever it might be, it's okay to attend at a different time as well. And again, those recordings are always available. The faculty is also available for office hours. They hold these weekly, and this is where you can hop on and discuss current assignments, have discussions with your professor and TA. You can network with those that are also attending office hours. I've also heard of students that are having like a real problem at work, and they're able to hop on the office hours and get help, find some solutions to that problem that they're facing. So these office hours are a great resource for our students. But together, the Coursera and high engagement components make up your 4-credit Gies online course. And then on to that networking that we were just touching on. This is another question that we get asked quite often, is how do students network within an online program? We actually hold several different types of events for our students to network. iConnects are meetups for current students and prospects, where we typically have a speaker for some professional development. Immersion trips are held both in the US and internationally and virtually. And I'm going to touch on those experiences on that experience on the next slide. And iConverge is our annual in-person event where we invite all students and alumni to attend a fun networking 3-day event on campus. And then the next grouping are what we refer to as student-led opportunities. Workplace is kind of like Facebook. It's our social media platform. It's operates like Facebook. This is where there's a lot of engagement among the students. They can form groups. They can ask questions about courses or ask for advice. They can network, support one another on this platform. You will have plenty of group work within your courses as well. And then student-led meetups really happen all over the world. So if someone's traveling through an area, or maybe there's a large group of folks that live in San Francisco or New York or Chicago or Seattle, just to name a few, they might get together regularly quarterly, something like that. And then we have the ambassador group, which is what Carlos is a part of, and that helps us to connect with our prospective learners and answer their questions. And then finally, the iGBA, that stands for the iDegrees Graduate Business Association, is a University of Illinois registered student organization of iDegree learners exclusively for currently enrolled graduate students. And the iGBA basically acts as the liaison between currently enrolled Gies online students and the college and university administration. They host a variety of events and really like to get our students engaged. And so, Carlos, asking you, how have you networked within an online program? What has your experience been like?
First of all, this was key to coming to Gies for me, because you can get a degree almost anywhere, but what do you get out of it? How do you then apply it to where you want to go? And there are so many different ways that you can connect with people. And for me, it was so incredibly satisfying to see how people want to get connected. Everybody, because we're all online, right? So we take that extra step to get to know each other. Workplace, for example, which is that Facebook-like software, you can get not only advice about courses or whatever. You can even look for a job there. People post jobs there, or if you are going to interview for a company, somebody will put a post. Does anybody work at Google that can give me some pointers? Or simple things like, hey, I'm taking this class. Does it make sense to pair it with this other class? So people are really eager, both current students and alumni, to help, to provide that support. And that was really gratifying for me. That is part of that ROI. That's part of that value added. Because I'm not just here to take a course on statistics, for example, so I've had really great experiences. I've made connections with people all over the world. And I've been introduced to industries that I didn't think that I could, if I decide to make a pivot and looking for another chapter in my professional journey, I know that I can find somebody at Gies that is either in that industry or knows and is willing to help me connect with someone. So very, very, very pleasant experience. The in-person connections, like in a city or at the school, I've done a couple of the ones in the city, and they are fantastic. The Professor Noel, who was just on that video, he loves chocolate croissants. I know that because I met him at a meeting, and he's a fantastic professor. So for me, the networking aspect and how much effort the school puts into building those bridges between the students, I think for me that has been key in the last year or so.
Great. Love to hear that. Well, these next few slides have a few examples of these different networking opportunities that we have to offer. So you can kind of get a glimpse into what they look like. But these are a few photos from some past immersions. We do host immersions about 4 times a year. And as I stated earlier, we offer virtual options, domestic and international. All degree learners are eligible to apply for this opportunity. They are an extra cost, and we take about 30 to 40 students for each trip. And these immersions are project-based, where you're working with real companies to solve a real-world business problem. And there will also be several fun cultural activities included as well. We just wrapped up the Miami immersion this month, and our next 2 scheduled for 2025 are Vietnam and Brazil, which is pretty exciting. This is a great opportunity for networking and to experience learning sessions with various company stakeholders. The next slide is the iConverge event that we host every September. This was iConverge 2024. And we had about 397 total alumni and students attend. 37 states were represented in 29 countries. I spoke to several attendees this past year that were joining for their third and fourth time even. So sometimes alumni keep coming back, and it's kind of like one big reunion. Or you might be there for the first time meeting your peers and instructors for the first time in person. And it's a great networking opportunity that we offer. And then Workplace is our social media platform. And I have just a few examples of some posts on this slide, attending a live session while being at the beach, which I thought was pretty nice. Our Southeast Asia group holds an iEverything event every year where learners from that part of the world gather together to celebrate each other's accomplishments throughout the year. And then also there's another post from one of our students that won an award for his startup. So lots of fun posts on Workplace and a lot of support as well. Student meetups, here are just a few examples of the student-led meetups that have happened all over the world. As you can see, these happen not only in the United States, but internationally as well. And moving on to the support that you will receive as an admitted student, we have an entire student and academic success team available to you. They can go over the degree requirements with you, help you set up a degree plan. They have express advising hours available multiple times a week where you can hop on and off and get any questions answered. You can also register for our one-on-one Zoom meeting with an advisor, or email them at any time. Carlos, have you connected with academic advising services at all? And if so, what did that support look like?
Absolutely. I kind of, I'm kind of, I guess I am a structure freak, I guess. And before coming into the program, I needed to have everything planned out for two reasons. One was because I needed to know what I was going to do, because I traveled quite a bit. And second, because I needed to plan it out financially. So you don't have to do this, and I actually don't recommend it until after you start. But because the school will tell you what courses to take on your first semester. They will give you recommendations, and they are based on building that foundation. So the first semester, you really don't have to think too much. You just take the classes that they recommend. But then after that, you can sit down with an advisor and say, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to finish my program in 24 months, 36 months. And I am not very good in numbers. I'm more of a qualitative type of learner. Can you help me build a plan so that I finish on time and I don't miss any requirements? And my advisor, oh, wonderful. She built a program that I follow to this day. I am just not going to deviate from that plan because the advisor knew the classes, knew the professors, and based on that discussion of, yeah, I'm good with numbers or I'm not good with numbers, then she built a plan so that your semesters are balanced. You're not just stuck with pure number classes. You have a little bit of qualitative with quantitative, which is really how you have to build a plan. So yes, I have used the advisors. I even asked some help for career planning, and I was able to get somebody on the line and talk through. Okay, I'm getting an MBA, and I'm thinking of making a pivot and going to a new industry. How do I go about doing that? So I've used that as well. Plus a whole bunch of other things that are offered, like if you want to build a resume, or you want to, redo your resume now that you have some more stuff to add, there are tools that the school provides to help you with that. And and I've used every single tool because I'm here. The school is somewhere else, but there are online tools that everybody can use, and it's available to all iDegree learners.
Great. Thank you for sharing that. That also, once again, leads nicely into this next slide for the career resources. We have these listed here, but this is a slide that represents the career resources that would be available to you as a student. On Workplace, we do have a career strategy group. This is a place where students and alumni can come together to network, job search, and also post job openings. We have Big Interview, where Big Interview offers training courses and hands-on practice with mock interviews tailored to your specific area of interest or career background. Handshake, all students at the University of Illinois have access to the Handshake job board and career fairs. This is a campus recruiting platform designed a little bit more for residential and on-campus students, but you will have access to it. You just might find the Career Strategy Workplace group or LinkedIn or other professional job boards more helpful. And then VMOC is a resume and career development tool that helps you improve your resume, and it will provide feedback and advise you on how to enhance your resume as well. And then moving on to the application requirements for our degree programs. It's listed here on this slide. We do ask for an updated resume. Unofficial transcripts or mark sheets are what's required for the application process. We won't need the officials until you are admitted, and you have about a month to get those in after courses have began. And then the academic statement and short answer personal statements as well. All of the prompts for these are found within the application. 2 recommendation forms. We will email your recommenders a form to be completed. It can be done in as little as 10 to 15 minutes, and then they can also upload a letter, but that is completely optional. An English proficiency test may be required for some of our international applicants, and no GRE or GMAT is required. A scholarship application is available, but the deadline has already passed to apply for scholarship for fall 25. Our next intake for scholarship applications will be for this spring 26 semester. And then finally, if you are concerned that your profile might not be strong enough to gain admission to one of our online degree programs, the PAT program, which stands for Performance-Based Admission Track, might be a good option for you. It gives learners the opportunity to apply to PAT as a non-degree student to take graduate level courses and earn credit before officially entering the degree program. And in terms of the application review process, after you submit your application, we will contact you if anything is missing. We accept applications on a rolling basis. And so, kind of the sooner you apply, the better, but just as long as you meet the deadline, it's no issue. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks before you will hear from us with either a decision or an invitation to complete an interview. Interviews are just an opportunity for us to get to know you better. And within the interview, you can expect general questions about career goals, experience working in a team, why you chose to apply to Gies, and any challenges or contributions that you'll be able to make while in the program. Carlos, can you tell us a little bit, was your interview experience anything to be nervous about?
I was nervous, I was nervous because it's been a long time since I did my undergraduate degree. Many moons had passed, and I thought it was going to be really, really difficult. But no, it was really simple. You do some, small essays, I think, 250 to 500 words, and you send it in, and it was a no burger situation. What do they call it? It was a really simple thing. I think the hardest part is that I've heard for international students, it's getting the official transcripts in from overseas, because you first submit the copy that you have, and then you have to get in an official transcript. But other than that, everybody that I've talked to, including myself, think it's a really easy process.
Great. Yes. And the graduate college is a good resource for those international learners. If they're having trouble getting those international transcripts and mark sheets, that's who you definitely want to contact and explain your situation. And they might have some solutions available for our international learners. And then moving on to the deadlines, I can't believe we are already talking about May, but our application deadline for an August or October start is May 1st. And the benefits for applying by this time are listed here on this slide. If you need more time to apply, the final deadline for an August start is June 5th, and August 7th is the final deadline for an October start. Okay, so hopefully you learned a little bit tonight about the University of Illinois and our program, specifically the iMBA program. I feel like the three things I hear our students talk about most in terms of why they chose Gies Online is the flexibility, affordability, and networking opportunities. You are able to complete your master's degree without leaving your job or any other responsibilities. Our price point really is unmatched, especially for the high quality of education that you will be receiving. And despite our program being online, you will have numerous opportunities to meet and connect with your peers in person. So we would love for you to join us here at Gies. Before we wrap up for today, Carlos, is there anything I maybe didn't touch on or any last minute thoughts that you might have for us?
Lori, I keep thinking about when I was trying to make this decision. And for me, it's, what's the bottom line? Can I get a degree, anywhere? Can I do it while I'm working and, attending to my family needs? And my bottom line was, for $26,000. You could not get such a high quality education, with all these resources anywhere else. And I looked at everybody. I really did. And, there were some schools that were in the ballpark in terms of price. But then there was this hybrid situation where they would require you to spend 2 weeks or a month as a residential student. And for me, that was not possible to take a break to then spend all that time, or twice a year to do that. It was not possible for me. So I kept looking at what's the bottom line. Is $26,000 worth it? I can tell you with all honesty, hands down, it is the best money that you can spend on yourself. You will not get this high quality education anywhere else. Maybe I'm biased, but it just has all the combination of things that made it all possible. And then with an institution like the University of Illinois, a land grant or organization that its number one goal is to spread education to everybody. For me, that was incredible. And the only thing I told my wife recently, I said, I wish I had done this earlier, because it is incredible what you get out of it.
Great, thank you. Okay, we're gonna go to this next slide here. Feel free to participate in the poll if you'd like to. We just want to understand, or hopefully you understand a little bit more about the iMBA program and Gies Online, and you got your questions answered. Please let us know if you did not. And I am going to glance here because we do have about 10 minutes left. Looks like we have a couple questions in the Q&A feature. So Is there any social media group for the iMBA on WhatsApp, Reddit, Slack, GroupMe, or Discord? I'm not aware of that, Carlos, but are there any groups that you're aware of on any of those platforms? We're really heavily on
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, and
Yeah.
yeah, LinkedIn is kind of where it's at for our iMBA students. And in terms of like the Gies Online social media platforms, we're on just like Instagram and LinkedIn, a little bit on Facebook. But in terms of the social media platform for our student body, it's at the moment, it's Workplace is what we call that. So I do think some groups form groups on WhatsApp based on maybe events that if they go on an immersion trip together or they live in the same location. So there will be opportunities though to connect outside of the classroom, but I would say LinkedIn is probably, yeah. What do you think, Carlos?
Yeah, in addition to LinkedIn, all the ambassadors, me included, you can reach out to any of the ambassadors. You can
Yeah.
connect one-on-one with an ambassador, either through the website, Lori will make that connection for
Mhm.
us, or in my case, if you find me on LinkedIn and you have a question, feel free. I mean, I've made incredible connections that way. I'm available. I can answer any questions that you may have. I can give you my perspective on this program. So there's if you need advice, if you need to talk to somebody, there is somebody available.
Perfect. And I did pop the Ambassador LinkedIn group in the chat if anyone's interested. You do have to request to join. And then we have you just submit basically like a privacy form, and then you're admitted. Then you can ask questions. Our ambassadors are in there eagerly answering questions anytime. So that is available to you. And then another question, looks like Casey asked in the Q&A. One more question on the 5-year time frame. What happens if you need to take an extended leave from the program, health issue, family issue, and at the end of the 5 years, you're like 80 to 90% of the way done with the program? Is there a way to go back in and finish the program? I do think it's a pretty strict requirement that it is completed within 5 years of your start date. We also only allow more than a year off. So that's the maximum time you can take off. If it needs to be beyond that year mark, you would have to reapply to the program. So, but to be honest, in all my years here at Gies, I don't know that I've ever heard of anyone that's had to exceed that 5-year mark. So hopefully that won't be an issue for anyone. If there is a specific, type of problem, we have that advising and planning team in place. I would suggest reaching out to them like as soon as possible, and they can help support you through that transition and let you know what your options are.
I had a good friend, Lori, who was a victim on the fires in
Okay, there you
California,
go. Mm-hmm.
and she had to take time off. And I communicated with her, and she said it's incredible. They are so flexible. They are gonna just hold my place. When things settle down, I can come back. And she had a really good experience in that situation.
For sure. Thank you for sharing that example. And then another question here. Are we going to have a recorded video of this session later? We will send out a recording along with the link to our YouTube page, which has all of our recent events on it. So definitely check that out. It will I think it comes in about 24 to 48 hours. You should receive a follow-up email from us, whether you attended or not. You'll receive something from us. So, all right. Well, I think that's it. We're almost to the top of the hour, but I do want to switch to our final slide here to give anyone an opportunity to scan that QR code again. That's the opportunity to connect to our team and our website. And then again, I did put the LinkedIn Ambassador Group link in our chat. And I want to thank Megan for being here today and for answering all of the questions. Thank you so much, Megan. You did an excellent job, and I couldn't do this without you and your assistance. And then I want to thank all of you that attended today, taking time out of your busy schedules to learn more about what we're offering here at Gies Online and how it can work for you. And then finally, Carlos, I can't thank you enough. We cannot do these events without our ambassadors sharing their student experience. You're really who our prospective learners want to hear from. So thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here as well.
Sure.
And with that, I'll go ahead and sign off for today, but please reach out to our team at giesonline@illinois.edu if you need anything. And I hope everyone has a great weekend. Thank you so much.